Hi everyone! Today we're going to continue our investigations on life sciences and living organisms. What I have in front of me is a model of a squid. Now animals and plants have structures that help them function. And today we're going to learn the structures of a squid that allow it to function. Squids are cephalopods, literally meaning head, foot, two body parts. Here I have just a model, it's a toy model of a squid, but I'm going to show you all of the different structures that it has. Then I'm going to dissect a squid and show you those structures on the squid itself. Now, I told you that squids are called cephalopods, meaning head, foot, two body parts. But one thing that they do is that they move through the water with their tail first, not lead with their head. Squids have gills just like fish. They're often mistaken for octopus. While they are very similar, they are different. The squid has 10 appendages. It has 8 arms and 2 tentacles. And at the very tips, you'll see they have little suckers that allows them to hold on to their prey or hold on to whatever they're trying to grasp onto. This helps with movement, locomotion, and it also helps with catching prey. All over their body, they have these colored dots, which are called chromatophores. And this is responsible for their ability to change color. Now they will change color for 3 reasons: to be able to camouflage, for a mating call, and for defense. They have a siphon, which we can't see on this model here, which is used for ink and water are ejected through here. And when the water is ejected, it helps them move and they shoot out through the water. Remember, tail first. And there's also ink that gets shot out of here as well, and that is for self-defense. The squid has 2 fins, and these fins are used for swimming, to maintain balance, change direction, and, in other words, locomotion. Now, when we open up the squid, inside we will find its mouth. And in the center of the mouth, we will find the beak. And that beak is really important. You'll see why. I'll talk about that in just a minute. Now, some interesting facts about the squid is that it actually has a heart that has 3 sections, which is responsible for pumping blood to the gills and the rest of the body. And inside, when we open it up, we will also find an ink sac, which is the bluish part of the squid near the siphon. And the ink is produced there and it's ejected from the siphon as a distraction or defense mechanism. Inside the squid, we will also find the stomach, which looks like a finger. And this is what produces the digestive enzymes. Again, we have the fins. This part of the body is called the mantle. We have the eyes. Here we have the siphon or the water jet. We have the arms and the 2 tentacles. And inside is the mouth. So in just a minute, I'm going to take my squid out of its packaging, dissect it onto cardboard box. I do not have a dissection tray, but this is fine. I'm going to use T-pins to pin back the sides of the squid so that we can look at the insides. Going to get my gloves on and get ready. As I take my squid out, some liquid in there just to preserve it. We'll see, first thing I notice are the appendages, and look at the difference there. We have the 2 very, very long tentacles and the 8 arms. These longer tentacles are used for grasping things that are further away, and the little arms are for things that are closer and to aid in eating to be able to place the food inside its mouth. Taking a look at my squid, I see the chromatophores. These are the dots that change color. We have the two fins that are used for swimming, balance, and locomotion. And here is the siphon that I was talking about. This is where water shoots out to be able to make the squid move. And ink is also shot out of here, and that's to distract its predators. And arms and tentacles. Another difference that we could see is the tentacles only have the suckers at the very end, but the arms have the suckers all over. And if I open up all of these arms, inside is where we are going to find the mouth. I'm going to pull it apart just a little bit. And let's see if I can get the beak out. Well, the first thing I have found is the brain. And going to pull that out in one nice straight line. And inside, I'm going to use my tweezers to see if I can get the beak out. Oh, and there we go, we got it. Now here I have the beak, and the beak is something that's a little bit, and the reason I'm talking about the beak is because it's pretty important. Now, squid are prey for many, many, many different animals. And animals are able to digest the entire part of the squid, except for one part, the beak. And how do we know this? Is when we find other animals and those animals have been opened up and dissected, we'll find tons and tons of squid beaks inside of their stomachs that have not been digested. All the other parts, completely digested. Now back to our squid. Going to put the beak on the side for a minute. Going to take the entire brain and the nerve cord and put that off to the side. And now we are ready to open up our squid. I'm going to use a razor blade very, very carefully and try not to damage the inside. we have observed the external structures. Now let's go ahead and see the internal structures. Well, the first thing I notice is a piece of cartilage all the way in the back. I'm going to pull it out in a straight line, and this is how the squid is able to maintain its shape. This is what we call the pen. And I think the rest of it is here as well. Yeah, it was broken inside, and that's okay. I'm going to gently pull out the rest. And this structure is usually connected as one. Now the next thing I see is the ink sac, and the ink sac is perfectly intact. And what I'm going to do is open it up using my pen. Oh, look at that. Here is the ink. Now what I'm going to do is show you that we can actually write with the ink. And this ink is actually put into many different types of food. There is squid ink pasta and squid ink risotto that people do eat. But this ink, the squid uses as a self-defense mechanism. Again, here's another view of the siphon. You can see it was right next to the ink sac, and the ink gets produced here and gets shot out through the siphon. And that's to distract its prey. Water is also shot out here. Water will enter through here and exit through this tiny hole, allowing it to jet through the water. A few more structures. Here we have the feather-like structures, which are the gills. This is how the squid would get its oxygen. And this finger-like structure, which is the stomach, that creates the digestive enzymes. Here is our dissected squid. Went over both the external structures on the outside, as well as the internal structures and how they help the squid function. Just to recap, we went over the structures, internal and external, of a squid, to see the function and how structure will help with function. Now think of other animals that you have seen, maybe in the water or not, or other plants, and think about how their structures help them function.